Caliphone threw up her hand and looked away. What happened to the man I knew who wished for no more war? The boy who drew such wonderful things? Nobody wanted them, he said. The emperor uses me for the most thankless tasks. My men are thrown against the worst of horrors, given the most grueling roles. We are divided, our talents ignored, our might reduced to splitting rock. My father ignores me, my men go unsung. Our triumphs are unremembered. My brothers mock me as my men bleed. Nobody cares. Is that so? She said. Let me present a different hypothesis to you, brother. Use that fine mind of yours to judge its worth. Here is my version of the story. The emperor of all mankind came here and found a son whom he valued. He saw an indomitable will with unshakable determination. He recognized that you would not give up, that you would rise to best any difficulty, that the tedious to you is as necessary a challenge to overcome as the glorious, and neither are to be shirked. Seeing these qualities in you, your father set you difficult tasks, not because he saw no value in you, but the exact opposite. He can trust no one else to get them done. That is not true, said Perturabo, though the acid of uncertainty began to eat at him. He underestimates me, they all do. Caliphone went on. For a long time I thought you a fool to follow the emperor. After all, he is a tyrant like all the rest. Look what he has done to you, I thought. He has brutalized you, and your wars have brutalized your home. But the truth is, brother, I have followed your campaigns carefully, and I noticed a pattern that disturbed and then alarmed me. Always you do things the most difficult way and in the most painful manner. You cultivate a martyr's complex, lurching from man to man, holding out your bleeding wrists so they might see how you hurt yourself. You brood in the shadows when all you want to do is scream, "Look at me!" You are too arrogant to win people over through effort. You expect people to notice you there in the half-darkness, and point and shout out, there is the great Perturabo. See how he labors without complaint. You came to this court as a precocious child. Your abilities were so prodigious that nobody stopped to look at what you were becoming. She got shakily to her feet. Exoskeletal braces whirred under her skirts. Perturabo, this will anger you, but you never truly grew into a man. I am not a man, he said. I am far more. In those words is the poison that spoils your potential. It is not the emperor who has driven this world into rebellion. It is not he who has held it back. It is you and your woeful egotism. Let me tell you, my brother, you who affects to despise love so much yet must certainly crave it over all other things. You are the biggest fool I have ever met. With a cry of anger, Perturabo lunged forwards and grasped her by the throat. He raised her up until she was level with his eyes. She grabbed weakly at his wrist. Her mouth gaped for air. I am far from a fool, sister, he said. I wished for more from life. I hope to build a better world for people. I have found that there is only brutality. Whether the court intrigues of the tyrants or this war to conquer the stars, it is all the same. Violence is the constant of human existence. It need not be, she choked. That is the violence within you, speaking. No, he said soothingly. I know my own limitations. My temper does not cloud my judgment, it focuses it. Humanity is venal and fractious. It can never be governed as one. Everything else is an impossible dream. There is no peace. There is no goodness. He stroked away the hair from his sister's face with one hand as he strangled her with the other. And in such a flawed universe, there can be no mercy for traitors. She choked, trying and failing to speak. Coldly, Perturabo squeezed the life from her. You have lived long enough. She kept her eyes locked with his as he throttled her. Even as her clawing hands became more desperate, and a dreadful clicking sounded in her throat, she stared into his soul. What he saw reflected in her eyes was not fear nor loathing but pity. With a last minor effort he crushed her neck. Her eyes rolled back to show the whites, and she judged him no more. He stared at her in hatred a moment, wavering on the brink of tearing her body to pieces, but a sob escaped his mouth unexpectedly, and he gently lowered her back into her throne. Her head lolled on its broken neck. Warning chimes peeped insistently from the augmetics concealed in her skirts. A trickle of blood ran from her mouth. Appalled at what he had done, Perturabo turned away. Dancing flamelight drew him to the windows of the palace. Ancient, cloudy glass blocked his view, so he methodically punched it out. Muffled weapons' fire became the hellish noise of a city's sack. Locos burned.